All right. Hello, Internet. I am happy to announce us as our game of Eerie Games. Sorry, oh my goodness, I'm so stressed. Okay. Hello, welcome. Today we are going to be playing with Eerie Games. We have a collective of people here to share in this story. The story is going to be Seminars, Echoes of the Human Experience, as played on the Para system. My name is Del Toro. I'm going to be acting as the storyteller tonight. And why doesn't Gabe go ahead and start us off with our characters?
I'm Gabriel. My character is Carmelo Lugo. He's an elderly man, 85. His pronouns are he, him. He's a channeler, and that's
That's
like
perfect.
what other. All right.
All right. Over.
Okay, I'll go next.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Daisha or Quoth the Raven. My character is Cole Riley. She is 26. Her pronouns she, her. And she has the power of psychometry.
Ash, go ahead.
Hi, I am Ash. I will be playing Leisha Kenny. She is 25 years old and she is a cryokinetic.
Jason, I will be playing Mason Rose, broody little creative writer with some clairvoyance inspiration coming from the other side. Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful.
My name is Joe. I will be playing the character Nora Winters, who channels empathy. And I'm going to be playing 30 years old.
Okay. Then why don't we go ahead and get started? Of note, we are going to be utilizing our safety tools. The players have already discussed their lines and veils prior to the game. In addition to that, we will be utilizing the X card. Just for myself, I like to make sure that prior to every single game, I'll practice the X card just to make sure that we are all comfortable, just going ahead to give it off. I prefer a little X in front of our faces just to make it the most obvious. But at any point, players are allowed to just go ahead and stop the scene or call for a pause. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And then, Gabe, would you like to also demonstrate? Down the line to Daisha. Bam. Ash. Jason. And Joe.
I feel
Perfection.
like I joined the Power Rangers.
Morphin time!
I'm happy. I'm happy that we're all up for it. All right. We need to make it fun. We need to make it there. And today, let's go ahead and start off with Echoes of the Human Experience. The story takes us out to the northeast, up in the Appalachian Mountains, to Gablewood University. Now, Gablewood is nestled up in the mountains. There is a heavy mist that clings to this area. It is a long trek for most who travel here, but it does set a beautiful, basically panoramic view as you reach the top and reach Gable University. A large historic building, or collection of buildings that have existed since up to centuries at this point, utilized as a fort at one time during the Revolutionary War, to manor houses in between. But right now, we find ourselves and our players off by the lakeside of Gablewood University. A small, basically, seating area has been arranged for students and faculty to go relax by the water side. We are now within our first week of university. Some classes here and there have been attended, but we're really deep in that orientation week, frankly. And this class, a lovely 9 a.m. start time. The sun is shining through, but very dimly, just with gray overcast. And you can feel the chill in the air still. Who would be probably the first to arrive at this little scene here?
Always up before the sun.
Always up before the sun. Why don't you go ahead and describe who Carmelo is for us, Gabe?
He is I guess he has like dark brown skin. He's got very indigenous features, white hair. He's always dressed, you know, almost like formally,
Mm.
but it's like all the time. You know, even if he's working on some laborious task, he's always dressed because he was of that era. You know, um, he is a very patient human being. So even though he's up before the dawn, he'll just sit there, have his coffee, smoke his cigarettes, read the paper. You know, he still uses a flip phone. Like, what? You know,
Where did you get it
he's
from?
just
Who knows?
yeah. You know, he's like has extra large numbers so he can see it. You know, he doesn't do texting. He has like the most basic $10 plan. But
Beautiful.
yeah. Uh, he's just a very calm person, you know.
So then, Nora, please describe your character for us real quick. And I'll describe the scene.
Nora, like I said, she's in her 30s, so she's a little older to be in grad school. She's 5'4", petite, long dark hair, green eyes. She'd be dressed, trying to fit in to the university setting, so she'd be in like most likely like a white button-down tailored blouse with a very nice tailored pair of dark jeans and boots. She's very quiet and reserved, so she would be early to make sure she's on time for class, but she would sit in the back.
Mm-hmm.
She has always has this well-worn leather satchel kind of over her shoulder that hangs down low, and she would sit in the back of the rows of chairs and just pull out a leather book, and she would just be kind of sketching quietly, keeping to herself, and she would have earbuds in. She always has earbuds in. So she walked in with the earbuds, and they're still in while she sits down and starts sketching, waiting, of course, for the professor, and then she will give reference over to the professor.
Which you're so ready for basically heading off to a lecture hall, and you would have received an email basically specifying like you're going to come and you're going to literally sit by the lakeside and sit in an outdoor experience. And not only that, they describe it is a small little like basically 4 benches within this area to like give you the idea. And you see this like elderly man just kind of propped up, drinking coffee and smoking at the same time. Is the truest vibe? Perfection.
Yep, absolutely. Has his leg crossed over the other, reading the paper.
Nora, this man is possibly your professor. You know that you're looking for a Victor Morley, a Professor Victor Morley here. This may be him.
It could be. She would nod respectfully, make eye contact, nod respectfully, take a seat. Whether he's a professor or not, obviously I'm waiting for more students either way. So unless he stands up and starts class, she, like I said, pulls out her book and sketches, and with her earbuds in.
Absolutely, absolutely. What are you sketching right now, actually? You have a lake view in front of you. You have a nice elderly gentleman who appears to be the iconic elderly gentleman.
No, that's not what she's sketching at all.
Okay.
Seems to be a face. It's obviously at the beginning stages. It's a close up of a face.
Okay. Lovely. Who would be next to arrive, and does anyone arrive in a group?
I think Cole and I are probably going to show up together.
Yeah, we would show up together for sure.
Why don't we go ahead and describe ourselves then? Cole, would you like to go first?
Yes, I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
So Cole, 26. She's exceptionally goth, covered from head to toe in black, always. She's fairly tall. She's around 5'7", but she also wears like 3-inch platform boots to make herself as intimidating as possible. she doesn't. She likes people, but she pretends that she doesn't like people, essentially. And you can kind of tell by the way she handles herself that she's very muscular and has a lot of control over where her body is. And she's with her bestie.
Yeah, who is she flanked by right now?
So Leisha is she's like 5'7", but she's wearing sneakers, so Cole is like towering over her, makes her look short. She's wearing like comfortable out and about like jeans. She's got like a band t-shirt on, and then a leather jacket over that, and she is wearing a long necklace that has a crystal inside of a cage that is like a standard for her, and both her hands have cups of some form of beverage that they got from like the local cafe.
Perfect.
That she's carrying 4 Coles. She's carrying it 4 Coles.
Okay, I just wanted to specify you are carrying Cole's drink.
Yes.
Okay.
She's carrying everything because she's like, I'll get the drinks, I got the snacks. You worry about carrot. You just get yourself there. Like just animated the whole time. She's got like 3 bags in each hand between her fingers, holding on to 2 cups of coffee or tea, whatever Cole prefers. And like just bringing all sorts of different like goodies and stuff because like she knows what Cole wants, but she doesn't know what everybody else wants when it comes to snacks. So she brought extra.
Perfection. And you guys do know the name of the class that you're going to be attending. So Echoes of the Human Experience seminars is going to be a smaller group. So you don't have to buy in bulk, luckily. But you arrive down there and you're kind of like, you gotta get about like maybe 100 feet out before you can start like seeing the actual space. Where you see a very well-dressed young woman seated down across from a elderly gentleman who appears to be reading the paper and enjoying their morning. Could be the professor or a man who just wandered in. I will leave that up to you guys to decide, frankly. I won't put that in your mouths.
You said you were smoking a cigar?
He's smoking a cigarette.
Oh, a cigarette. Okay.
A clove, or what are you smoking?
Ask you if you had any more, if I could bum one.
Sure. And I reach into my little suit jacket and I pull out a pack of Camels and be like, here you go.
I kind of like scoot back, hoping that Leisha comes and takes it for me.
100%. She's right in there. She's like, thank you so much. And she's like,
okay. And then I would like put my hands out and wait for Leisha to give it to me.
Yeah, she's holding it by the end so that they don't have to touch fingers or anything like that.
Yeah.
He thinks nothing of it. I'm like, do you need a lighter? And I hand Leisha a lighter.
Cool. Thank you.
And Leisha's gonna offer like, I've got blueberry bread. They had cranberry orange. Do you want some breakfast? I have like 6 things here. Like he's offering you food in exchange for, just existing.
Are you asking me or
Yep.
Oh no, I'm okay with just coffee.
Thanks,
okay, no problem. And she will literally turn to Nora and be like, hi, because you have headphones in. Would you like something?
This is probably around when Mason arrives. It looks like hopefully a TA is handing out food right now, as you see someone holding like coffees and just food apparel. Mason, could you go ahead and describe your character for us?
Yeah, so I would just come slowly trudging through the leaves, kind of looking down at a journal and looking up at the sky, kind of almost hit a tree or something and sidestep it a little bit. My guy is modeled after Bill Compton from True Blood, kind of that style, little gruff, little gaunt, pale, little scraggly, but still kind of fashionably scraggly.
Mm.
So he'd probably have a nice little denim coat on, and some jeans and some boots, but sort of the messy, greasy black hair and a little like messenger bag or something that's all worn. And he's always got his nose in his journal and his eyes to the sky. Basically, he's sort of a writer by trade, always thinking, always looking for inspiration and stuff, but pretty clueless when it comes to anything down on Earth.
Perfection. Then a newcomer enters into the space. Do you at least look up to acknowledge everyone else, or do you just stick to your boot?
Benches sitting around a lake, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of slowly put it away and kind of slowly walking towards the benches and looking around. I'd do a little nod to old guy, because I think I've seen you around coffee shops here and there and stuff.
Mhm.
Kind of give a quizzical look to Cole and Leisha, just like, yeah, a little double take, and yeah, I don't want to make a big deal out of this. And I go kind of sit on the opposite side of the bench to old guy, but still within listening range, and kind of pull my book back out and slouch down and start reading again.
Perfect. You guys sit there for a bit. From a distance, you can, well, perhaps you will see, perhaps you will not see. A man slowly takes notes as he examines the group, noting that people mainly stick to themselves, noticing Cole and Leisha. Yes,
Leisha.
Leisha. Sitting together, and Leisha immediately moving to everyone, trying to make everyone feel comfortable. A notebook is closed and a smile comes across the individual's face as they slowly stride over to the group. You all see a man in their 50s or so, salt and pepper hair, round rimmed glasses, a nice buttoned up shirt with like a nice little geometric design on it, smiling as he approaches, but he welcomes the group. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Smiles.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I hear good mornings. Those
Good
are good.
morning.
That's a good thing. All right. Quick introductions. Just want to make sure. Are we all here for seminars, Echoes of the Human Experience? Thumbs up. Up. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure that no one is lost. This is not Intro to Psych. I myself, hi, I am Professor Victor Morley. I will be your instructor for this course. Now, getting into the thick of things. This course is going to be focused on the paranormal investigation and the paranormal experience. But before we go any further than that, I want to ask the group specifically, why do you care about the paranormal studies in general? Why does anyone care about the paranormal studies in general? And this is an open question. You may answer it yourself, or you may give a general answer for the greater bit of society. But I will also make mention that this course is graded on participation as well.
I put my book away reluctantly, wrap the leather in my sack.
Yeah, Nora switches out her leather journal for a notebook.
Okay. Looking over at the most enthusiastic one of the group. Your name.
I'm Leisha Kenny.
Thank you. Okay, Leisha Kenny. Okay.
And I am interested in the subject because I think paranormal studies allows us to explore something that is part of the natural world and part of ourselves. The more we know about it, the more we can understand who we are.
that is by far taken from the textbook, frankly. Now, paranormal studies, yes, it's mystical, and many of us may have seen what are ghost hunters on FX, just people shouting into buildings. I want us to look at things as a more personal experience. We have all had connections with either grief, the afterlife, those we have lost, people who are still with us now. And it is important for us to understand the connections between ourselves and those around us, and even those who are still passed on. It still counts as a type of entity external to us, that we have some form of relationship, even if we have a great distance between us. Now, the specifics of this course are going to focus on, it's going to be an 12-week course, with 7 field studies in particular, in which we will be traveling around to different areas within the campus and slightly off campus. But why Gablewood University? Why here? Gablewood is a very unique location within America. It is a hotbed of paranormal activity. We have our own historical sites here. It has existed now for longer than 300 years. And in that time frame, there have been deaths, there have been joys, there have been loss, but there has also been great victory within this place. A university is a very special place in general. The university itself only began about 100 to 200 years ago. But in that time frame, America has changed greatly. And the people of America have changed greatly. We need to take time to think about these things as we progress forward and try to understand what we're going through. But before I go any further, any kind of questions that we want to talk about before? Solid. Now, I mentioned there will be 7 field studies in particular that we're going to be going to. I'm going to keep those... We'll be exploring them more as we go along. I don't want to outwardly state all of them, just in case, because this course is going to have some form of risk. And yes, before I go any further, he pulls out into his bag and pulls out a couple of forms and starts handing them out to you. Noting on them, they are waivers, discussing basically that there is some degree of risk entering into this course, and the chance of harm, and in extreme cases, death. However, and I want to express, though it states death on there, I will be gauging where this course is going to be led. If I see that we are not moving in a particular direction that I find favorable, I'm going to or I'm going to speak to people directly and ask them if they're willing to step out of the course or if they're willing to take on separate projects in order to basically make up for some of the things that they may have missed or that they're going to miss. But in particularly, this course is going to focus on paranormal entities. In particular, those who are known as lingerers and those who are known as embodiments. Now, does anyone know the definition or have an understanding of what these type of entities are? And I will go with gentleman, gesturing over to Carmelo. Who, are you still enjoying your cigarette at the time, or?
Oh yeah, no, I like knock a little bit of an ash while I take out a pen to like sign my name on the form. Yeah, I'll be like, all right, sweet, and I hand them back the form.
Perfection. But does anyone know the definition?
And I asked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I asked what the question was again. I got a little distracted by reading the form.
Oh, sorry. The definition, the understanding of what a lingerer is and what an embodiment is.
I could not tell you.
It's all right. Oh, Mason.
Yeah,
Would you like to
I
take a
could
stab?
I could take a stab at it just based on the words, the etymology, lingering, and embodiments. Probably, probably embodiment is spirits that jump into mortal forms, whereas lingerers tend to be more of an essence that you kind of intangible, grasp it
Mm-hmm.
out of the air type of thing.
That is a fairly accurate description, a physical description, if you will. Um, Lingerers are entities of basically emotion, those that cannot maintain a physical manifestation, as you mentioned, but still possess some tangible effect on the world. Whether that is, if you've seen the movie Poltergeist, things of kinetic movement, or the titular will o' the wisp is a similar type of concept. These are entities that once held great emotional states in the moment of their deaths and are therefore lingering within our current world. While embodiments represent a form of greater spirit, those that can actually take on a physical presence and can affect the world around us. Now, how and where these spirits have come from is up to theology in a sense, but in our practice in our field, we like to assume several theories. One in which of they have been specifically summoned to that location by some form of practitioner. There is the idea that they have been trapped in one way, shape, or form. And then there is the concept that they have wandered into the location accidentally and become trapped in this place. Now, the purpose, or at least the primary purpose of this course, is therefore going to be interacting with these entities and trying to see, and trying to let them move on away from these places. Now, that is the primary focus and our primary goal within the course. However, the secondary goal and what is going to be more focused on your particular grade is going to be your own primary thesis that you're going to come into this class with. Now, I don't expect you day one to have that written down, but I would say by our third class, I would like us to have a general idea of what that is going to be, because moving forward in this class, we're going to be using each expedition to explore that thesis more. And by the end of this course, I would like us all to come out of it with some form of essay or paper that we're going to look towards publishing by the end. And I will help you along with that process. I'm going to be here with you along the entire way. And all of you have been in particularly selected, or at least permitted into this course and into this program based off your own personal experiences and your own personal abilities. And at that point, I think it is, at least for those who don't know everyone here, the realization that the people around you do have something similar or something akin to you. Now, you don't know what that may be, but it is a realization that you may not be alone in one way, shape, or form. And if you would like, you may speak on that now, or we can all speak about it at a later time frame. But I will be speaking with you all individually in regards to what that means and what you hope to accomplish later on. And once again, any questions in regards to what I've just discussed? Mason, yes.
So just out of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
assuming this course has gone on several times at least,
Mm-hmm.
what that's going to sound incredibly naive, so apologies, but uh, these spirits must be regenerating in order to feed the curriculum, or what?
No, 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 no.
Like,
Yeah.
tell them to move on, but where are they coming from?
We are not ghost busting to capture spirits and keep them here to then repeat this course.
Okay.
This is mainly an inaugural seminar. This will be the first time that this seminar has been hosted, and it is on a basically pilot itself. I'm
Okay.
hoping that we can experience more later on. Or by the end of this, we may just have a wonderful experience. It may be a one-time thing, and we will have created some wonderful papers that we get to share with the world about our own personal experience.
I don't know about everybody else here, but the idea of reaching out and touching something makes me a little nervous at this point. But guess we'll find out.
We will be moving slowly, I promise, and we'll be taking time to discuss what everything means and how we're going to be doing it. And I promise you, during this first class, we will not be charging into the deep, but we are going to take some time to, one, just introduce ourselves to each other. We can share as much information as we would like to. And then we're going to take a brief tour around campus. And flex our fingers just a little bit. I want us to all take a moment to try and connect with what this campus is and what this campus means. Now, if you do not want to share with the rest of class what that means for you, that is perfectly fine. I have been given, we have all each individually discussed briefly what some of your personal abilities are, and we will explore them all a little bit more. And please feel free to ask me during any part of the tour, just to kind of basically, if you're like, I don't know what I'm possibly doing or what I'm going to be doing with this all, I can help you along in that path. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to be your instructor. So, I believe you are Carmelo? Would you like to go ahead and start us off?
So I decided to take this course mainly because I'm in my golden years and would like to gain a little perspective on what might be in store for me when the time comes.
Ah, we are approaching that time.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see you for a long time and have many conversations with you and keep everything, keep our relationship going for many years to come. But I think that is a wonderful example of why someone would be interested in this course in particular. Looking over at Cole a little bit like nervous and go, would you like to go next?
I mean, I can, I guess. My name is Cole. I'm 26 from Illinois, and I don't know, I guess I'm like really sensitive to spiritual stuff, and I kind of want to dampen it, honestly. So I'd like to explore the things that make people sensitive or not.
Lovely. And that is a quite very practical application that we want to try to explore. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing with us, Cole. Miss Nora, would you like to go?
Of course, Professor. Good morning. Good morning. She kind of turns to everybody. My name is Nora Winters. I'm originally from New York City. Taking this class similar to the previous students, looking as kind of an expanse to the psychological development of human nature, the evolution, if it were, of the human species. And yes, just interested in how it connects to psychology and the overall human experience, which is why I'm here. Just very interested in this course of study.
Okay. Progression of the human experience. I like that a lot. Leisha?
Well, I'm Leisha. Hey, everybody. I wanted to take this course because I wanted my powers are kind of my abilities are very grounded in the physical, and I kind of want to know how that relates to the more ephemeral existence of the paranormal around us. Um, how those things mesh together and interact together.
Wonderful. All right. Sorry, just taking a little bit of notes. It's already starting to look promising. And Mr. Mason.
Yeah, Mason Cole. Family's hopped around a whole bunch. I think Georgia's where I was born and raised. I ended up here in Appalachia in a few choice locations. What draws me to this whole thing is I kind of had a fascination for creative writing back in junior high school. Through college, was hoping to make a career out of it. Seemed like I had a talent for it, but my inspiration just kind of took off without me. Short to say, drawn in from all sorts of sources of inspiration that I didn't realize existed, frankly, and things have just gotten real slippery. Yeah, real slippery. Finding myself checking out and snapping back 5 hours later at a coffee shop, writing someone else's story is kind of a strange experience. So, hoping to understand it a little more. Back in my mind, a little bit worried about that tap being there in the first place, and just how wide I should open it.
Well, you are not alone in this endeavor. We're going to work through this all together. And I deeply encourage, we are not graded on a curve. There will be no need to compete with your fellow students here. We're here to evolve and grow together, which I do encourage collaboration. With that, I do expect everyone to write their own papers. This will be a writing intensive course, especially considering the thesis at the end, which will make up about 60% of your grade. Yes, and then with that, why don't we go ahead and start this? Start our first little expedition, and as we walk, we're going to be doing some talking as well. From a historical perspective, one of the major first cases of paranormal studies that I want to bring up is the Fox sisters. Now, picture it late at night back in around the 18 to 1900s. The two Fox sisters, Megan and Sarah, find themselves in the middle of the night in their estate home. While sitting there, they hear bumps, creaks, your standard experience. It's, hey, when you're out in the middle of the rural woods, of course you're going to hear something. But then the noises start to become more specific. The knocking, the tapping, to the point in which the sisters stop and ask the question, is someone there? To the point in which the noises respond. Well, in the most beautiful display of the scientific method, they speak out. If someone is there, knock 3 times and are responded with 3 knocks. Is this person in the afterlife? Followed by 3 more knocks. Now, this simple event is the budding of what will then become known as the spiritualist movement. For those in the know, that means the progression into things such as spirit boards and other accoutrements in order to speak with the dead. But it is a beautiful part in history in the sense that as we are transitioning into the Civil War, prior to this, we had a deep fascination and understanding of the home death. Now, what does that mean? This is prior to a funeral home experience, but when our family members start to pass on, it is expected that we all come home, place a person in the bed, the family comes together, and they're able to have a shared experience together. This sadly ends at the point in which the Civil War comes along, when we have many individuals who are now dying out in the middle of the fields, alone, struggling, and finally passing on without their family members around to support them. This became one of the major drivers within the spiritualist movement, in the sense that it gives you an opportunity to then reach out, to contact your fellow human being, to understand them, to try and to have one last moment that you did not get to have with that family member. And as we progress along, more and more we will discuss in future courses or future classes about the different aspects of the paranormal studies as they came along, and even go as far as discussing a little bit of what ghost hunters and what it's all about, and how we specifically connect with that shared experience. But right now, let's talk about our personal experience right now. And as you guys, as he's ending this statement, you all arrive at the Gablewood Library. An older building that has... It is a Mod Podge of, you can see the original architecture that could be basically revolutionary America, but then expands outward to almost be like this odd amalgamation that becomes a modern building on top of it. So that this tiny building is basically just consumed by it entirely. Large glass windows, and you can see inside, basically two-story building, the hustling and bustling of students within. I hope that everyone has been familiar with our dear Gablewood Library. Hopefully, yes. Good, awesome. I have a group of hardworking students who are eager to learn. All right, come on inside. We're going to try and at least keep somewhat of a lower voice in here. But I think this is an ample opportunity as we enter in. And as you come inside, the noise level is almost akin to what it was outside. Casual conversations happening on this level. And you can see it is a nice little lounge area. Then further out, you can see the actual library shelves flowing backwards into the building, while students are already getting into the prep period and starting to work on some of their studies. And as he transitions everyone into the lounge area, all right, now we're going to have some of our first little foyers into this human experience. Now, just as we are dealing with people who are still within this mortal realm, as we all are, correct? Yes, all still here. Good, perfect. I would ask that we try to refrain from touching people without asking first. If you would like, you can engage in conversation with somebody. But let's all take a moment to just think about what we personally can do and how we can personally interact. Now, Nora, as we are in this space, we are surrounded by the human experience right now. We have students over here. I believe I see a group of freshmen who are meeting for the first time and are a little too eager and are a little too assured of themselves. But there is a lot more going on in this space. What do you feel in this? You have an opportunity actually right now. Let's all take a moment. Remember, what are our 5 senses? Sight, hearing, smell, taste. Let's avoid the taste one for right now. And sight. I might have repeated sight. Touch. Thank you. Goodness. What are we hearing right now? What are we feeling right now? And let's go ahead and start off with our first draw. Who would like to go ahead and give me a straight mental draw for me?
Mental.
Mental. Oh God. Smarts.
Cole's not very
Smarts.
smart.
Smarts?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we-
I'll do it.
Anyone is welcome to participate in this right now.
Oh, okay.
Page
So
of Swords,
Can we just do smarts, nothing else with it?
Seven of Swords.
I'll be nice to you. How about that? Do you want that? Why don't we go ahead with smarts and investigator?
I have a special feat for that.
Ooh.
Of observant.
Okay.
So I get 2 successes for nature.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? Okay.
I think I'm gonna sit this one out because my threshold's a 2.
That is perfectly okay.
No, thank you.
I got 4 successes.
4 successes. Hell yeah. Carmelo, looking out, what would you try to focus on in this space? And this is Del Toro asking you specifically.
And maybe, I think since he really wants to delve deep into almost like the paranormal, could he see if there's like any occult symbology
Occult symbology.
in this old library?
As you look around, the first things that you're picking up on is one, the smell of linoleum, kind of wafting into the space. You could definitely pick up on the, despite your smoking habits, which one you can just pick up a nice little nice smell of tobacco just wafting off of yourself. There's definitely some freshmen who still need to learn how to shower. That's unpleasant. But as you look off to the side, you do see part of the modern building morphing more into the older architecture. You can see cordon off sections where you can see it starting to look like a maybe personal library that has been sectioned off. Would you go over there to basically look at it a little bit more, get a kind of feel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
As you move over, you see a small plaque that specifies... Lovely. That specifies that the library itself was built with the original estate and belonged to the Gablewood family at that time before it was eventually evolved into a larger library that was used for any of the officers that utilized the fort back when it was Gable Fort, before eventually becoming, it's now listed as the restricted section for the greater Gablewood University. And as you look inside, you see that there is a stained glass window off on the right hand side with bits of angelic symbology kind of gazing down into the room, casting a beautiful cluster of colors that scatter across the floor. And then off to the left, the lighting dims a lot more to refrain from damaging any of the books, it looks like, and you can pick up on the strong musty smell of older books, but you feel the heaviness of the air around you as you enter into this area. What would you be drawn to in this moment? Hopping the fence if you so wished. Looking around the library, and there is some security guard within the space, so I'll let that be up to you how adventurous you are. I know many people who will hop a fence to their own.
Is there a actual fence, or is it like a chain? Because I don't see myself
hopping
being of age to hop.
Factual. It is a chain. It is not a straight up fence, basically. So it is like a little chain link with a little sign that says restricted area for and you can hear the sound of some movement further in that could mean that somebody is basically back there right now.
I'm gonna just undo the chain just a little bit,
Mhm.
chain it right back up, and then walk in
Uh,
and start looking at the books.
the rest of you see him wander off into the restricted section. Um, Professor Victor does not stop him, and it encourages you all to like take some time to just explore the space in your own way.
So I
Uh,
got 4 successes.
4 successes. Where do your eyes travel to? Where does your heart
Cole
travel to?
is looking at probably those freshmen you mentioned. She always likes to observe people more than places, and she's more focused on like their hands and any way that anyone's touching each other, see if they're associated in any way.
Very specifically. First, the smell of Axe body spray wafts over to you. Um, Followed then by you can see that it is like you pick up on bits of the conversation, like the nervousness, the excitement, like, oh yeah, I'm actually like a chemistry major, like just people trying to boast and whatnot. And you could see that they must have met up an intro to chem, and you can see the degree of separation that exists right now of people just meeting for the first time, who chose to sit right next to each other. You can see shoulders just barely apart from perhaps somebody who's like shares dorms. Maybe that's a roommate situation going on. While as you can see people who are seated across from each other are taking time to take more interest in the other person. Eyes drift more over towards them. Where does your heart lead you in this moment? What do you attempt to do?
I think that Cole would look away and just kind of be a little jealous on the inside, try to play it off like she's looking for where Carmela went, just abruptly kind of.
As soon as you see, it all kind of triggers off when the group collectively laughs together in a shared moment, as you kind of drift away. What about the rest of the group? Where are people meandering to? Where do people head? I'll call on you. Don't make me. Leisha, where do you head in this moment?
So, Leisha
Leisha.
and Cole are very good friends. So, her attention is with Cole specifically, and I think she's kind of watching her watch other people.
Mm-hmm.
And when she's like the person who is paying attention to Cole. She's the one who is focusing there, while Cole is focusing on things that she outside of that experience. So when she has that moment, Leisha's right there going like quietly, just like checking in. Are you okay? Do we need to step outside? What do you need? Can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you as well.
What?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. No, I said I'm good. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'll tell
right
you.
here.
I promise.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm right here if you need anything. Yeah, this is where her focus is. This relationship is where her focus is.
Perfection. I think you do feel like the heat picking up in the area just slightly as you enter into general vicinity where a lot more conversations are now happening, with a mixture of just the like AC unit blasting down on everyone, trying to keep it to a cool level. Mason, where are we? What's happening?
So yeah, he sees Carmelo kind of noodle off, and he's like, "Oh, that'll be an interesting story."
Noodle.
And then the interactions with these two ladies definitely kind of seals his thinking that they must already have taken classes together or something. But really, this is the noisiest library I think Mason's ever been in, and he's just kind of intuitively being drawn away from the din towards like any kind of older, quieter little nook in the library or something. And Professor just hears him mutter to his breath as he walks by, "I can't hear a goddamn thing."
There is a lower. There are some lower levels to the library if you would like. If you just head off to the staircase over there, as you go lower, there are 2 levels below us right now that are technically connected to the restricted section door on each level. But it is a quieter location the deeper you go. So just take that into mind. Please be respectful of those around you.
Understood.
Absolutely. And you wander off. And then there was one, Miss Winters.
Yeah, she's not a fan of this exercise.
Is everything all right?
In fact, she had kind of her like notepad out and was writing as the professor was like walking and talking. And when he says this, she like closes the book and like folds her arms. And as she sees people kind of like starting to flitter off, she's acutely aware that she needs to look like she's doing something. So she just casually wanders over to the nearest, fullest window,
Mm-hmm.
and is actually gazing out of the building. But is exceptionally, if you're looking at her body language, it's exceptionally tense.
Interesting. I think you were joined at that window. Miss Winters, is everything all right? I know this is our first foyer into to this class, and it can be quite daunting. But I promise we are in a safe environment right now. And you know,
She actually snickers under her breath very subtly when he says that.
I want to ask you, what are you feeling in this moment, and what are you hearing? What are you sensing in this moment? Even if it's just on this earthly plane.
Perhaps we should discuss this after class. Professor, I don't want to interrupt your exercise.
This is all a part of the exercise, Mrs. Winters.
Perhaps I shouldn't be in this class. I mean, I'm more than happy to take it as a survey course, but I don't think that this is something that I can participate in. I think perhaps maybe the registrar got my course load wrong. I'm not sure. I can certainly address it. Like I said, I don't want to interrupt your lesson after class. I can address it with the registrar, but I don't believe I'm going to be able to really participate in the way that you are looking for from me.
Now let me ask, do you feel like you cannot participate because of your personal ability to engage with the class, or do you think that you are not good enough to be in this class?
I have not had the type of paranormal experiences that you were describing earlier, supernatural, of the other world, other dimensions. I've not had those experiences. I can't speak to those. So therefore, again, I'm more than happy to survey. I believe it's certainly something as part of paranormal studies to learn. I'm not negating that this is an important course. But I personally don't have any experiences and don't believe I would be able to interact in that way that you're looking for from your students.
Do you believe in the paranormal?
Yes. I believe it's possible, but that is not something that I have ever experienced.
I want you to take the opportunity anyways. I want you to ease into everything that we're doing here, because in the end, this is, as you described, it is a course grounded in reality, grounded in the human experience. And we can discuss more of this along the way. And I promise you will not be forced to do anything that you do not want to do. But I can assure you, the more you engage with this course, the more you will be able to better understand yourself. And I don't think for an instant that you are being truthful when you say to me that you don't have any form of a paranormal experience, even if they are more
So
related
you're not,
to the
Professor.
mortal world.
I unfortunately do not. Again, more than happy to learn, more than willing to learn. So I will let the others and take notes on their experiences.
That's perfect. That is actually very good, because that is encouraging some of the collaboration. Why don't you go ahead? Why don't you go ahead and well, Mr. Carmelo might be going into an area that he's not supposed to be going into. Why don't you go ahead and follow Mr. Mason? That seems like a safer option for right now, and it's a little bit quieter downstairs, which might be more relaxing to be around. And it actually gives you a little bit of an opportunity to just focus on what is going on without less of the chitter chatter that's happening up here. I want you to write down what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you feel in the space, temperature-wise, texture-wise, not the people, but the area around you, and how, frankly, take a little bit of time to compare from up here to downstairs. I think that'll be helpful in a good, fresh start, a good initial start to this course. Sounds good?
Absolutely, Professor. Yes, I will be more than happy to partner with
Mason.
Rose.
Yes. All right. Good luck, Mrs. Winters. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes or so don't worry. And then we'll continue along on the tour. Carmelo, off committing a crime. You wander into the back spaces of the library. Up here, while the modern library has a second story, glass paneling, the works. This place is a lot more smaller. It's a lot more personal. You are looking in at a personal study right now. About 4 shelves back, lengthwise, basically, and you can see one behind you right now with the stained glass window. There is a small reading nook area. But further down, you can also see a light off in the distance, kind of expanding out with a slight greenish tinge from the glass that is wrapped around it. But it looks like another reading nook down there, a loft space where a second story bookshelf expands out. And then you can see some stairs further down, further out in the space. Where do you gravitate towards in this space? And where does your heart take you?
The greenish light.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to know what that is.
You wander back there. You see a beautiful leather armchair, and right next to it, there is a singular reading lamp that has a green glass covering. Etched along the side of it, you can see it has... it appears to be some Latin phrasing, and it depicts the mountainside just along the basically the outer surface of it all. But it looks like an exceptionally comfortable space to be in. You can see off to the side of it, there is a singular small end table, where, as you enter in the space, you can instantly get the perspective and get the feeling of sitting down with your ashtray right next to you. You could set your coffee right down there. It's cozy, it's personal. It's where someone rests when you need to rest at the end of the day.
Just brushing my fingers along the chair to feel that I guess it's leather, right?
Old leather feeling.
Yeah.
You can feel it crunch slightly as you press down onto it.
It's a little familiar feeling from the old days.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also, I think, a set of stairs, you said?
There's stairs leading downward and also stairs, like a small loft up above.
I'll flip a coin here. Do I want to go down or do I want to go up? I don't have a coin. Give me a second. There it is. All right. Yes for up, down for no. Yeah, we're going up.
Perfection. You see a small black metal spiral staircase that leads up to the second floor landing. Where off in the back you can see it looks like a desk set up, and there's another set of like chain link with another plaque. Basically, it looks like they probably have tours come through here. And you can see on the plaque it states Marcus Gable's personal study.
I know this might be a little early, but can I try to sense like a spirit?
You most certainly can. I, in fact, encourage it. So, why don't you go ahead and describe to us what stunt you were attempting, and what you need in order to do this stunt.
I don't really have all that much power, being that I only have a power of 2, but since spirit itself is just a 1 power cost, and it's the ability to sense spirits in a given area. This is resolved as uncontested unless the spirit is resisting with an ability. So I have that stunt at level 2. So I don't know too much about stunts. What would be the...
Go ahead and let us know what your resonance is.
It is 3.
3, so you're looking to have a 5 or under.
Gotcha. All right. I have 5 of Swords. That is my aspect. Queen of Wands. No. And 4 of Wands. So I have 3, because I think this meets the thing, right?
Yep. 5 or less
so
meets
3...
it, beats it.
Yeah. So I have 3 successes.
3 successes. And it says it senses spirits within the area, basically.
Yeah.
Yes. Unless they're contesting.
Mm-hmm.
As you enter in the space and start to feel around, get an understanding of where exactly you are. Where does your mind drift to right now, and how? What do you feel as you start to like let your senses drift off into another place? Do you sit down?
So yeah.
Hell yeah.
So he sits down at the what do you call it? That desk that's up top. He crosses his leg. He pulls out a cigarette, and he just sort of lights it and sort of zones out as he tries to, like, I guess, extend his awareness throughout the space.
What comes to you in this moment as you are taking the time to actually physically manifest yourself in the space, and like the smell of tobacco wafts out of your mouth, and the first thing that is drawn, or the first thing that you start to experience, is almost like a set of eyes, the slight feeling of being watched. But then it stops abruptly. It transitions to, no, there's just someone within the room. Somebody's here with you, within the space. You don't feel an exceptional bit of malice or anything of that nature. But while you're sitting there, there's a slight feeling of vertigo within the bottom of your stomach. Your feet feel heavy. And yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, good.
No, I was gonna say, can I like? I'm like, I take. Let's say I'm doing this thing. I'm like, if you're gonna talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, I'm trying to like communicate here. I'm like, let's have a conversation because you're getting me dizzy.
You feel then the pressure on your feet.
Mm.
Thinking back, perhaps not recently, but in your younger days, you remember physical activity. Such a mean way to say that. In physical activity, the idea of pushing yourself off the ground, basically to perform pull-ups, perform things of that nature, but you feel a reverse, the pushing of yourself away from the ground. It's almost like standing on a balloon that is slowly pushing you upward. Though no words come to you, nothing speaks to you, you just get the feeling that they're there. Get the feeling that there is spiritual energy within this space. But it feels distinct from what may be behind you at the moment. It also feels distinct from, like, as you hear, like, the sound of people off in the distance. And it's in that moment that someone eventually calls out, excuse me, sir, sir, you're not supposed to be back here right now. And then we'll be switching over to Cole and Leisha. Where do you guys drift in this moment as you feel like the cold air beating down on you? You look back and you realize that the group has dispersed. You've been giving a warning about, like, try to be here for only about 10 or so minutes before we try to reconvene and, like, get back into everything. But you have an opportunity to try and, like, expand out of the class. And, like, what do you guys talk about, frankly? Or, like, what do you guys do?
I don't think Cole probably has been in that many libraries. It's not really her thing. So I think she would just kind of not know what to do. Just looking around, trying to figure out where to go. Probably looking at Leisha. Like, what do we do? Where are we going?
Because she's being looked at to make a choice, she's gonna pick something random.
Perfection.
What is a direction that nobody went?
There is deeper into this floor, and you can hear basically, like, there's a group setting out here, but then deeper down you can see, like, some small private cubbies, or, like, basically workspaces. And then you can kind of make out people in between the different shelves chatting to each other. And you do know that there's the cafe upstairs, actually, too. You got your food from there earlier.
We've got the coffee already, so we'll, like, she's like, let's go this way, and just wherever they didn't go, she'll go to point towards the deeper area that nobody else went to, because something to do.
Something to do in particular. And as you're passing by a variety of different books, massive textbooks, and you can see areas where it switches over into, like, memoirs, some older copies that don't look like they're, like, ancient in particular, but are still important for the time period. And Cole, as you are walking through, how are you keeping to yourself in this moment?
Well, more than likely at all times is walking like this, and kind of just, like, curled up, hanging out, looking around at people, trying to see if there's any, like, super ancient books, because I feel like that, she might want to look at that just to look cool.
Absolutely. And as you do, you actually come over and you can see slightly within a glass paneling, there does appear to be, and listed down there, it is listed as a personal Bible to the Gable family. It's old, it's like slightly worn, but it appears to just be a sliding panel that it looks like the book inside could technically be handled if so. But it's just sitting there waiting for you.
I would look at Leisha and be like, why would they have this book here that looks old as fuck with no lock or anything on it?
Well, it's
Is
probably
it
on the
important?
honor system. It's probably on the honor system. Let's look at it.
Oh, honor system is super cute. Let's go for it.
Do you pick up the book?
I mean, I would not pick up the book.
Yeah,
But
she'll pick
if
up. She'll
Leisha
open the
wants.
glass and pick up the book and like kind of hold it between them
Mm-hmm.
so that Cole can see as she's she's gonna be like respectful of the book, like making sure that she's only touching like the edges of it
Mhm.
rather than like flipping through it because clearly it's older and you don't want to damage old pages.
Then I would like the both of you to do a resonance roll now.
So it's just residence.
Straight resonance. Unless you specifically call upon a stunt.
I have crappy residence, just so you know. Nope.
Ace is high, right?
Ace is low as a 1.
Oh.
I have one
Yep.
success.
1 success. Love. Awesome.
I
Would you like to
have-
say what your what was your draw?
My first draw is the 10 of Pentacles,
Mm-hmm.
which is nothing because my threshold is 1.
Love.
My second card is the 6 of Wands, which is my success because of Wands.
Love.
And then the final one is the 3 of Swords.
3 of Swords. Lovely. And Cole, how are you doing over there?
I got 3 successes. I have the Ace of Pentacles, which is my nature and under my threshold, and the 2 of Swords.
2 of Swords. All right.
So for a total of 3.
For a total of 3. Thank you very much. Leisha, what comes to you in this moment? As you are sitting here in this space, you feel the cold wind of the AC unit blowing down on you. But then in the moment, it strikes you as odd as you are holding the Bible in your hand. Just the sense of like a warmth that comes off of it. Distinct from the rest of the room. It almost sounds like just tingles at your fingertips as you hold it in your hand.
Like if your hand is cold and you put it in hot water kind of
Yeah.
feeling.
Distinctly.
Yeah, that's definitely something really noticeable, and she's not gonna like hide it. And she's going to be like, "Do you feel anything weird going on?" To Cole, like, "Do you feel anything at all?"
Cole. You sitting there in the space, your hands like distinctly like arms folded, correct, as you like toil. As you are there, it sucks. You want to try to keep to yourself. You want to try and keep your hands to yourself. You want to try to keep your senses to yourself. That has never been in the cards for you. As you exist within this space, you feel the grounded nature that unfortunately your feet bring to the situation, despite how high your platforms go. You feel the wind on your skin. You feel your friend speaking out in front of you. And you feel a large degree of irritation. Of competitive, is it competitive spirit? Is it anger? It's something bearing down, and in moments you're trying to think it through, trying to feel out what exactly am I dealing with right now? What exactly am I feeling right now? And it's hatred as you kind of gaze out around you. I mean, maybe in this course, hey, we're all supposed to collaborate, but Gablewood University has been at least known for its competitive nature within its students and has been described as cutthroat at times. Many strive to get a position within this university solely because of its beauty and its esteem. It's a very small school size. And while you are here, many students try to strive to be the best that they possibly can be, especially if that means going for those higher level internships, trying to make sure that they can be the only one who gets it. Where the next step of university, despite it being sophomore, junior, senior, we're going towards, what is it, graduate level? Are we going for a... we need to get into schools afterwards. We need to get a job afterwards. You can see and feel your anxiety spiking. Is it from yourself? Are you nervous about what's going to be happening next? Are you even going to have a job after all this? Can you believe in yourself? And then deep in that all, you feel a twist of ambition. Of... just within this space, and you feel it kind of below you. Just must be the students who are sitting down on the lower levels, who are in the deepest quiet on day one, or on week one at least, saying, I am going to be the best student here. I am going to be better than all the rest. It's... I'm not going to describe it for you. What is that for you?
I think she would feel all of these things happening around her, and she would see the concern in Leisha's eyes, and knowing that something was kind of off. I think I would look at Leisha and I would say, promise me we're gonna get cookies after this?
Absolutely.
Okay, and she's gonna grab the book.
Okay.
To, I don't know which one I should use. I think I'll just do sense for now.
Okay. You will be reaching out and sensing psychic energies that are left behind. This is going to be a draw of your resonance and the sense stunt. So...
okay, that's level 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I only got 1 success.
1 success is all you need to activate this power. As you reach forward and touch the book, what are you expecting to feel?
I'm expecting to feel... honestly, it's a Bible, right?
Yeah.
Shame. And sadness. She was raised in a non-religious household and is very cynical about religion in general.
I will say, the first thing that comes to you is a taste of that shame. It is, but it's a weird taste. The emotion is complex. It's regret also. And you also feel a strong sense of conviction. In the moment, it almost feels like you're holding a shield in your hand. The book is heavy. You feel a little bit of what that, some of the warmth that Leisha was describing. And it is a foreign feeling to you in the sense that it's not the fire and brimstone, it's the sense that someone poured so much into this for a singular moment, and then the bite of regret at the bitter end of it.
This book was really important to somebody. We should put it back.
Okay, let's put it back.
The glass panel slides closed. The sounds of the
Cole's
people
gonna
around.
put some gloves on to make sure she's done touching things now for the day. That's enough.
Valid. Mason, how deep do you go? You see that there's basically, you're on the ground floor, and then you see sub 1, sub 2.
So I'm kind of picturing him traveling by sonar at the moment. Like he's trying to lower the EQ of the noise and the hum of the room so he can actually pick things up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just kind of like, it looks like he knows where he's going, but he's just avoiding collisions and just kind of trying to figure out where to go for the sound to go down. So he'll probably wander, around downstairs a bit and stuff, and run his hands along the banisters, and finally it'll kind of hit a point where his like hackles aren't like and then he'll just rest and just kind of close his eyes, and I'm gonna do a little clairaudience, I think.
Absolutely. You find yourself basically on the second level, and lighting is still very good down here, fluorescent lighting up above, still the same level of bookshelves out and about around you, and then you can also see the private cubicles, where you can spot students like seated inside, and as you walk by them, you're already getting like dirty looks, from like the audacity that you walk by, or that you distract me in this moment, or the fact that your footstep made a sound.
The boots are probably pretty loud in the library.
Yeah. Where do you head to? You can see, you're still very much like in the modern addition to this building, but where do you drift to in this area?
Let's see here. What other sort of spaces am I looking at on the second floor other than the cubicles?
You see cubicles. You can also see some private study rooms, that are like off to the side, as well as like some larger, like basically a larger, it must be like another seminar-esque room. But then off to the side, specifically like with a proper door set up, it specifies another restricted section, and specifies like off limits to students, basically.
He's not a super risky bad boy, so he'll sort of drift past the students, and I think the appeal of like an auditorium kind of has his attention for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of wanders off into that direction.
Opening the door makes a strike creak out into the room, and you immediately get shushed from the other side of the level. But you see a small like auditorium area, basically only like two or three steps down, with chairs like spaced out and about, with a centralized podium out on the other side. But it's private in here. It's quiet in here, and you actually, it definitely sounds like there must be like basically different air filtration from first room to the second, because this most likely looks like it is soundproofed, to basically give respect to everyone else outside.
Oh, cool. We kind of shuts the door behind him, just, oh, good grief. And wanders down the stairs to the, probably just one of the seats up in front there, and throws his satchel down and pulls the journal up and slouches in the chair, just cracks it back open to wherever he was at, and leans his head back and just sort of like shuts his eyes and tunes into the space, basically.
Perfection. You said that you would like to go for clairaudience, correct?
Yep.
All right. You'll go ahead and add your resonance to the clairaudience stunt. And we'll get a draw from there.
That would be a 4. Let's see here. So the Knight of Pentacles is out. 6 of Swords is my nature, so it's 1. 3 of Cups is 2.
Perfection. You sit in the space and slowly start to let your mind wander out. As you are sitting there, you can hear, it sounds like maybe a prayer is being uttered somewhere. A group setting, perhaps there is a chapel somewhere within this space itself. And then intermixed with that, you start to hear the muttering, like, no, I'm not good enough to be here. No, I can't be here. Like, I need to try harder. Like, can't focus on any of this. Like, just a mixture of, like, just anxious energy. And then intertwined with all of that, just keep recording. No, that's not it. Wait, let's move the equation over here. Wait, no, that doesn't work out. No, that's wrong. And you hear the tearing of paper, throwing it off to the side. It's just a mixture of anxious energies just like building up on top of each other, all of them striving and working. But the strongest amongst them is that same sound, and you're not even sure if it's yourself or if it's external to you, the sound of scratching, until you realize it's not a pen, it's sharper than that, more distinct, maybe a quill on like parchment as it's scratching about, and you realize that it's the sound of the individual who is tolling over notes, or some form of equation off in the distance. Until you're slowly brought back to yourself within the space.
I kind of put my pen back behind my ear and look at what I wrote, and I've got something about some students who were just so worked up over class, and one of them started carving their wrists with the quill pen and some kind of mathematic. It's like, whew. All right. Shut my book.
A lot of anxious energy. Not sure if it's going to lead to anything, but who knows. And Nora, where do you drift to? You technically have an opportunity to just basically maybe hide for 10 minutes. Do you maneuver down to the level 2, or do you move to level sub-level 1?
No. She would go into the stairway like she's following Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately maybe go half a flight and sit on the steps, pull out her sketchbook, and go back to her sketch.
Lovely. Please make a resonance roll now.
For those powers you don't have.
I don't know what you're talking about. 8 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, Page of Pentacles. No, 0 successes.
As you sit in the space, starting to scribble about. Where are you drawing to? What are you attempting to... What are you attempting to do right now, actually? Not relating to the resonance. What are you physically attempting to do?
Keep herself shut off.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she's focused. She's trying to focus on the picture that she's sketching, which is a face. Like I said, it's a very close-up face, which is quite distorted. Could be in pain and agony. Again, it's a beginning sketch, but it's not a happy face.
As you sit there, you get the odd feeling of being watched. just kind of on the back of your shoulder. You are shut off. You are closed off. You're not going to allow anything to interfere with you trying to basically remain in a physical state. Is it... But with the feeling of eyes on you, do you keep your head down, or where do you go to?
She buckles down even harder. So now she has to turn the music up.
Mm-hmm. What is...
I mean, it's been a very low din the whole time. She's had her earbuds in the whole time, even when the professor was speaking. But now she turns the music up. And she actually would probably pull out her iPad, or iPod, because she has one of those,
Totally.
and flips to a different piece of music, and plays and turns it up, the volume up.
Classical, if I remember correctly?
Yes, classical. A Rachmaninoff piece.
As the music elevates and crescendos in your ears, you pull yourself further and further inside. And that's when it makes you more unsettled, when you can feel something step closer. You don't hear it. You don't see it. But despite it all, you feel it. Because something wants to be felt.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's wound a little tight today because this is a lot for her. Even just coming to a class like this is a lot. Perhaps this is maybe more than she bargained for, even though this is what she bargained for. But this is not what she bargained for. So at this point, despite there's only two options, and both of them are extreme, because this has got to stop. And up to this point, she's been able to stop things. So. She goes for the more immediate, which is to cast. So she's going to attempt to project emotion. Despite her best efforts, that's what she's going to attempt to project. Do you want to know what the emotion is first before I draw, or?
I would love to know. Please tell me.
Humiliation.
Oh, please. Go ahead and give me that draw.
6 of Pentacles. 2 of Wands. 4 of Cups. So that's 1, 2, 3 successes. Because Cups is my nature. Right, yeah. My thing is 5, so.
Good. You send that forth. Where do you send it? How do you send it? Do you just send it in what you feel?
Yeah, because she doesn't have a person to focus it on, she kind of like sends it as like carelessly, as a blast, kind of like resonating out from her, because she doesn't have a person to focus it on in this case.
As you do so, the first thing is you see it. Something falls out in front of you, and then a liquid is spilt onto the stairwell, just like off to the left of you, and the sign of boba slowly like rolling down the stairwell as someone stops and like rubs their hand as this girl just like stops. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe I just went through that, like, and you can hear her muttering like, just like, I made a complete fool of myself in front of there. I know I shouldn't have talked to that guy. Like, oh my god, I'm going back to my room, fuck all this, and then runs off in another direction.
Nora's just like, god damn it. So now she's pissed. In herself. She's disappointed in herself because it's not something that she does very often, or tries not to do very often. So she like kind of sits down and is like fisted. She can't even like hold her pencil because she's like so angry at herself. She's chastising herself for doing that. But it's too late. It's been done.
And the camera pans slightly, moving up just a story or two, where Professor Victor Morley jots down some additional notes as he sits up on basically the ground floor to the second floor landing, as he hears the boba falling. Psychic projections of emotional state. And a smile comes across his face. And we will take a short 5-minute break. We will come back again at about 8:50. Everyone, please, and including our audience, please go take some time to go off, get some water, stand up a little bit. We should not be all standing for the amount of time that we are. And I will see you back at 8:50. Thank you so much. And we're back. Hi, hello, internet.
Hello, internet.
We will pick ourselves back up. Basically coming back together up on the first floor. Carmelo, I assume you pull out a pocket watch and see. Yep, time has been reached.
Yeah, but before I go, I'm gonna take out a little cigarette, leave it as like a little offering. I'm like, let's talk next time, and I just say into the room.
Lit or unlit?
Unlit.
Unlit. Okay. There is a nice like ornate crystal ashtray positioned right there for you, so you just leave it right there waiting.
Yeah.
And maneuver back over. You can see Professor Victor outside, basically waiting for y'all to come back out. And as you all come out, so initial findings, initial feelings. How are we all doing right now? First, just as a personal, like, how are you doing right now? Is everyone feeling good? Is everyone feeling excited for the future?
Absolutely.
Okay. I see some nice head jiving. So, perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You know what? And that's wonderful. We're going to start walking to our next location, which will actually be our first field study. We're first going to just take some time to examine the place from outside, and we're actually going to hold a lecture again when we come back next time. But I wanted to give us a chance to just look at the space just a bit. So, we will be maneuvering over to the one of our older dormitories that is no longer in use. This is the Willard dorm. And you can see kind of like off in the distance and a little bit, so you like maneuvered closer to basically the front of campus when you went over to the library, and now you're heading kind of back similarly in the direction of the lake. And it takes some time before it really comes into clarity. But you see a long house set up, 2-story building. It definitely looks much older. And the sign of like wear and tear is much more present on this building than compared to some of the modern buildings a little further away. The Willard dorm was utilized towards the beginning of Gablewood University's time here on campus. But with time and with advances in technologies, eventually the decision was made to no longer utilize the building. However, Many have come and stayed within this location. It existed as primarily a male dorm at first, but then slowly transitioned to a co-ed dorm separated basically by the northern and southern side of the building. It is stylized in a kind of older manor house, but could host up to about 30 students in total within its halls. Granted, back during that time frame, it was 30 students, one student per room. Now we would probably try to fit upwards of 90 students within this establishment. I'm not in favor of putting triples into a room. I think that it goes a little bit beyond human nature to fit as many people into one space. I myself enjoyed double back in my time within university days. But I digress. And as we are kind of progressing back outside, I wanted to hear some of your initial findings and some of your initial feelings. For one, Leisha.
Oh, she kind of like glances to Cole to kind of like gauge how she's like that subtle head shake, and she's just like,
We touched
mean,
a Bible.
You touched the
Yeah.
Bible. Oh, that's. Was it a religious experience or
not really.
understandable? I assume you saw the Gable Bible that is housed in the back.
How are you gonna that up? That's a little weird.
Usually it is under lock and key. I did ask them if they could please keep it out and about. Keep it
Got
within
us
the
in
glass
for
framing,
setup
but
already.
allow us an opportunity. I am all about opportunities here, and I want to see you take the initiative. And I thank the both of you for doing so and examining initial findings. I want to hear all 5 senses and then any additional senses that you may come into this with.
Well, it had that really old book smell.
Love.
You know what I'm talking about? That really old book smell. It was in pretty good condition considering how clearly old it was. So that's smell and sight. We didn't taste anything because
Thank you.
The air conditioning was on really high, so like there was like a weird temperature difference going on. And she's lying to you right now. Just so you're aware. She's kind of like fibbing a bit, trying to keep it up so like there was like that rushing sound from the air conditioning, and like there was like a cold spot situation because of it. So there's feeling. There's that.
A cold spot. Very distinct verb usage there. Now, this has been described in many paranormal investigations, paranormal experiences. Temperature plays a vital role within the realm of the supernatural. Leisha, why?
I mean, I'm always aware of the temperature. That's kind of just built into me. So I've always been aware of, changes in the atmosphere from spot to spot. It's just how I'm built.
Though I would like you to take one step further. And actually take a moment to either utilize a little bit of that scientific method or take a stab in the dark. Why do you feel like a cold spot is significant? You took the time to mention it, actually.
I mean, I'm very aware of the cold. My ability is cryokinesis, so I'm aware of when things are colder than normal temperature and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think cold spots exist to begin with?
Oh, I mean, they usually happen when some kind of psychic energy is building up, or something is draining away from a space for other things
Ooh.
to have energy.
I
Because heat transitions into cold. That's how it works. Heat moves into cold and dissipates.
I am loving exactly where your mind is going right now, and I would like you to take some time talking about your abilities and thinking about that kinetic movement of energy, especially moving into our next couple of classes. Take some time to think about that topic. Try to branch out, try to see where your personal abilities can lead you into this endeavor. Especially in regards to, as you mentioned, cold spot. It's if that is where you so wish to place some of your focus. Carmelo, I saw you took a detour into some of the older areas of our facility. Why don't you go ahead and describe to me a little bit about what you found?
So, I did see a really nice, comfortable chair with a little reading lamp. Very old, kind of jogged some memories back in my youth.
Hmm.
Um, then I kind of just flipped the coin because I saw two stairs, and the coin led me to the upstairs. And when I got there, I sort of decided to reach out a little bit of the area and try to, how do I say, extend my awareness.
That's a very apt term.
Yeah, and you know, while I am not new to the experience, I am still sort of a beginner. And there was some, you know, I tried to talk to whatever entity was in that
Hmm.
area, and it gave me almost a paranoid feeling, a sense of vertigo. I had to sit down. I think it was trying to feel out what I was doing there. Now, I left a little offering. Maybe next time, if I feel adventurous enough, I'll get to
Ah.
talk to whatever, you know, spirit may have been there.
I
Um, I did get caught, so I didn't get to stay for too long. But my age grants me some privilege of not getting too into trouble. You
the
know,
added benefits of age. There comes wisdom, and there also comes the I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to be here. My apologies.
exactly.
Love it. I love
Got
it. Utilize it to your best ability. Um, but I love the way that you took to describe. You took the time to embody the space. And taking the time to leave an offering is also a very good idea. Um, we're talking about the human experience here, and a lot of that is going to be connections with those around us and connections to those beyond. Presenting gifts, presenting offerings, reaching out and asking the question, is someone there? It's a beautiful way to start this experience, and it's going to be useful moving forward.
absolutely.
Mr. Mason, how was your time within the library?
He was reading his little diary sketchbook. He kind of shuts it. No, well, once I could get to place that was a little more manageable, the auditorium, just relax there for a bit and let my thoughts come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up with some interesting ideas, maybe for potential work in the future. I don't want to be dramatic or anything, but
Are you a
you know,
writer?
Oh well, yes, yep. I've been practicing quite a long time, and I just sort of find that these little snippets sort of come to me, and I jumble them up in the book, and then
Mm-hmm.
here and there I go back and it's like, oh, hey, you can look at these things, and they all tie together in a really beautiful narrative, or sometimes a really freaky narrative, like today, for example. I can't really say if it's abilities or it's I'm in an auditorium in an educational institution.
Mm-hmm.
But I just my mind went to some very stressed out children, perhaps a religious school setting, just really on edge. I mean, fierce, almost psychic break point on edge with these quill pens. I don't know how old this school is, but quill pens and scratching, and then they were just getting so worked up that they started tearing into their skin, and it was getting all bloody and whatnot. But I'm a writer, so things kind of get carried away sometimes.
You're not getting carried away at all. Uh, in the description of some of your experiences, I think that is a very apt description. The library will play a role within this course later on, and I'm happy that we are starting to feel some of those distinct just aspects and tidbits that we're going to see some along the way. Um, However, we are in a daytime setting. I want to keep it nice and safe. We're nowhere near a nighttime expedition, which will be our first field expedition, starting at midnight next week. We will start off with a brief lecture, followed then by actually going in to explore and gesturing off to Willard dorms. Um, I've almost forgotten. Miss Winters. I asked you to do some descriptions and do some physical senses, differences between spaces. Could you describe to me some of the experiences that you came across, or some of the observations that you came across within the space?
Unfortunately, Professor, I can't say that I had anything nearly like the other individuals in our course. My experiences were rather mundane.
Hmm.
Always utilitarian lighting,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
steps, foot on steps. Just very, very simplistic things. Nothing that would warrant mention in this class.
Not true at all. What space did you decide to take up? Basically, where did you go to?
Oh, I just wandered.
Okay. Well, it's important to examine each and every space that we enter into. In particular, we are looking for places of significance within the library itself. Carmelo, you described a nice study armchair area, a place in which someone would naturally come to congregate, to sit down. Then we had up on the first floor the collective of students who were coming to take notes, study. But this all differs then from the sub basement level 2, where students are ritualistically throwing themselves into their academic studies to try to better themselves. Each of these spaces are significant in their own way and provide their own emotional resonance to them. While Carmelo may have entered into a space of reflection, Mason, you very quite literally described a place of high anxiety within a classroom setting. And we also want to see some of those liminal spaces in between, whether that be the bookshelves in between or the stairwells in between each level. Despite being empty, there is significance to that. There is a difference between what is a crowded space, what is our bedroom. So even picturing your own homes, living room to bedroom have their own significance. But what happens in that hallway between our spaces? It is actually of note that a lot of manor houses do take time to describe, or at least of the paranormal experiences. There are a lot of experiences that occur on stairwells. Whether that be the ghostly figures wandering down, up, carrying things. The stairwell and the foyer of a home draw in a lot of energy because it is a focal point. It's a place that you are going to transition to a lot of the time. And in that transition, thoughts are pouring through, feelings are had. So don't let the liminal spaces slip out and away from your own personal moments of study. See what is different in those spaces. See what is hanging in the or hanging on the walls. A home is its own set. Take time to understand how it was designed. And that leads us to our new set, Willard Dorm. Gazing up, what do we all see and what do we all feel when we look upon this place? And I want to ask you guys specifically, Cole, would you like to actually go and answer this question? When you see this dormitory, what do you think of? What does it mean to you?
I mean, I think probably a lot of like camaraderie and friendship and just togetherness, and everyone here's going through kind of the same experience, at least academically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to find people that get you.
That is...
It looks creepy.
It is creepy, I promise you it is.
There's gotta be some joy in there, maybe.
And that is a little bit of what we're trying to find. Now, this dormitory is actually home to one of the personal tragedies within Gablewood University.
Nice.
And is home to an entity known as the Mourning Maiden.
Mourning
Didn't
with
have
a
a lot of
U?
friends, did she?
Yeah, mourning as in dawn or mourning as in tragedy? Sadness.
Mourning as in tragedy and sadness, as in sorrowful. Now, this is one of the personal stories within Gablewood University. But because I am a mean old professor and I believe in the strictness of it all, we are actually going to ask you to please do your own personal investigation and preparatory work before coming back here next week to understand what we are going to see, what you should expect to see, and how we're going to deal with it. We're going to come to basically to describe what's going to happen next class. We're going to all come together, sit down, talk about our findings. I will answer questions as need be, but we are now at graduate level classes. I am your professor, but I'm here to encourage and to foster your personal abilities within this space of paranormal studies. With that, I will gladly basically point you in directions. I'm going to be available basically from now until next week when we all come together to answer any questions that you have, to shoot me an email, meet me during office hours. But where are you guys going to be going with this? What are you looking for when you are going to be coming into this expedition? And what are you feeling when you're coming into this field study? What do you hope to know? What do you hope to feel? I'll go with Mason for this one.
Well, I think the name alone kind of piques his curiosity. You know, the deeper the sadness goes, the richer the story. You know, so I think he's expecting something very heavy and severe, especially given sort of the vibe of the space in general. Um, you know, dorms, lots of young kids doing stupid things that he can't get away from. He's not super stoked about physically getting in there, but he's very, his wheels are already turning about hitting up Google and the library and trying to see what he can dig up on the subject.
Very good, very good. And I like, you specifically brought up capture the story. What does it mean to capture a story for you? Why is it significant? Why do you keep writing?
Is this a professor asking him the question, or
This
is this
is a professor asking you the question right now.
Well, I better put my voice on. Well, writing's not really about the writing. It's about well, the reason why I came here, I suppose. You just get all these threads hitting you all the time, and some of them are brighter and easier to see. Some of them are just more faint, show up every now and then, but you just can't get a hold of what it is. And for me, I find people get pulled into my work, the sharper I can make those threads. And I'm hoping my ability or whatever I learn here at this school will help me better be able to focus on those threads and integrate them into what
pulling forth, creating the opportunity to write the truth, to capture the experience
as purely as possible.
It's an admirable goal.
Thank you.
It's something that I want you to keep exploring, especially within this space.
I can't help myself.
Carmelo.
Mm-hmm.
As you move into this field study, where does your mind wander to?
Well, I've experienced quite a lot in my long life, but while yes, I did grow up with some paranormal, experiences, I kind of just shunned them to the side, and now as I cross into that paranormal space as I get older, I kind of would like to get to know what these spirits are like. So, what was the lady that you said? The morning lady?
The morning maiden.
The morning maiden. Maybe if I could give her a penny for her thoughts in next week's adventure. Get to talk to her. I'll do a little bit of research. Maybe she has something like maybe when she was alive, maybe she had something that she liked. Give a little offering. Maybe she'll be a little bit more receptive to talking. Who knows?
I like
I
it.
always say that you should be more afraid of the living than the dead.
That is an accurate statement. And within this space, I will assure you, this will be a safe encounter. There is very low risk of any harm. The building, although is closed and closed off, it exists right now as just a historical site. It is not a condemned building. We can enter into this space. The floor is not going to fall out beneath us. You are allowed to I have been granted permission and access for this course. You are allowed to wander to all areas. And we will have a personal contact. And Emily Valdez, who is our personal historian for Gablewood University, who will be willing to answer any questions from now until next week. However, will not be coming with us into the field study as well. She will be there at the lecture, and then we'll take her leave before the night is over.
Who did you say she was? How is she related?
Emily Valdez. She is the historian of Gablewood University.
Thank you.
All right. And since I would like to ask everyone this question, Leisha. Here we are, as we are currently lakeside. The chill is a little bit more ever present. I think this will be an ample opportunity to, one, just feel out, but also to know that you are a little bit surrounded by the cold right now. And in the building, I guarantee you, although the temperatures are still going to be slightly chilled, it's going to be a little bit warmer inside. We've at least installed some heating within the place. But I want you to take the opportunity to explore it out. Now, in some of the basically interviews that we have conducted with you, just to try and gauge our own personal experiences, I understand that the noticing of all of our supernatural resonance may be a little more difficult for you. However, I want you to take this time to experience the physical world around you. You are going to be a large help to the students around you right now, whether that is from your positive attitude that you bring to every situation, but also your own ability to affect the world around you. And we'll be discussing a little bit more about that. I'm going to shoot you some emails where we can talk a little bit more.
Okay.
But a little bit of a, what do you wish to see in this next, in our first field study? What are you hoping for?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of drawn to who the Morning Maiden is. The name is kind of specific. Like, I mean, most spirits are going to be bound or tied to wherever they are because of a certain situation. But, like, you said that the dorm was largely a male dorm, and then it kind of moved into a co-ed, which is really weird for even the early 1900s, even if it was, like, right towards the end of when it was being used. Like, why is she here? What brought her to this particular campus? I'd love to hear more about her story and what would tie somebody to this place. And I just think that would be really interesting to find out.
Excellent. And I like that we're here trying to capture a story. Miss Winters, what are you hoping to explore with this first field study? This is also an ample opportunity to enter into a historical site, where all the do not cross signs are going to be down.
Like I said earlier, simply the experience of the human nature, the development of human nature and how it's evolved over time.
Mm-hmm.
I will just simply be the witness.
And being a witness is an excellent opportunity here. You might get your first chance to experience some of that paranormal activity.
I don't think so, but I will enjoy watching you all do that.
Excellent. And lastly, Cole, what does next week hold for you?
History, like, everything happens for a reason, and figuring out why kind of helps with current problems too. I don't know, history's always just been pretty useful for me, knowing about your background, the Morning Maiden's background, who she was.
Mm-hmm.
These, theoretically were people at some point, so they should get to rest. I don't know.
No, you do know. No dismissiveness in this class, all right? You have made a very beautiful sentiment, a very academic aspiration. You want to know. You want to know someone's experience. All of you have stated this. Take this opportunity this week. Go home. Study up. We will be essentially staying the night at this location. So please get some rest prior to. And then we'll meet up slightly refreshed at around midnight to sit down, start a little bit of our lecture, talk about what we should be experiencing and what we're going to be looking for. And then we will transition into actually basically myself letting the reins go and allowing you all to explore the space at your own pace. As I mentioned, this class is going to be heavily participation based, and you are going to get the most out of this experience by how much you put into it. So I encourage you all, in your own ways, to see what the Morning Maiden has for you.
Absolutely.
Any questions before we dismiss each other for the day? All right. I will hand out my number to all of you, just so that you can easily access me. And also my faculty email address, so you can reach me at my office. The phone number is also for my office. It is not my personal phone number. We will discuss that a little bit later. And then we will meet back here at midnight. Yes, Carmelo.
Yes. Can you give us the contact information for the historian as well?
Yes, I can get you that as well. My apologies. All available within the syllabus itself.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes. And we will meet back here next week. All right, everyone. And he then dismisses you all out as he announces that he is going to go back to his office to go and take some notes on just today and prepare next week's presentation. But he has left you all here out in front of this building, all with each other. Where do the rest of you wander?
Who wants to pregame a sneak peek? That too. We can have cookies.
Sorry.
No. I'm down for cookies and coffee. That sounds like a wonderful idea. But I was thinking, let's take a little sneak peek inside this building while it's still daylight. Yeah? No?
Does anyone kind of get a feeling that he kind of expects us to do that? Because he did just leave us here.
That's what I'm going for. I
And
think
he set us
he
up
wants.
with the book.
Yeah. Also, he said that this was not going to be a particularly dangerous building to be in. I think the spirit might just be a sad one, not a dangerous one. So, do you guys want to, explore?
Well, he did say that we ought to do some research, so I don't know how that might affect things if there's a coming to. Might be good to get a little downtime.
I already Googled it. There's not very much online. Or have to probably go to the gross library again.
Yeah, I suppose so.
How dare I?
Lisa's
Yeah.
like gonna be looking at Cole like you can tell it's like on her face. She would like to go inside, but she won't do it without you.
I mean, if y'all want to go, I could stand at the door.
look at it this way. I'm old. I don't really care about how can I say um the dangers that might be involved in this. I'm gonna go in.
Fuck it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you
YOLO.
really want a dead
Yeah,
classmate on date one, but
it's all
you
right.
do
They'll
you.
just say that he died of a heart attack.
Oh,
I
You
can't
know?
let him go in by himself. You don't have to
I-
come in. You don't have to come in.
I'll
I don't
go.
want to
I'll
do anything
go.
you don't want to do.
I'll go,
You
but I'm
know,
not
you
touching
know,
anything.
Yeah, don't touch anything.
it's all right.
I'll do all the touching and things.
I'm just telling you what I'm gonna be doing. You guys can do whatever you want. I got the itch to explore a little bit more. Um, we don't have to be there that long. We could be like maybe 20 minutes tops.
Hey, Nora, what about you? You want to witness? Seems you like witnessing.
She's already pulled out her sketchbook and is back to sketching while you are all talking. She looks up when you say that. No, I'm good. I'm gonna. I think I have another class coming up. Yeah, I do.
See you later then, I guess.
And Nora wanders off. Okay.
Mason, are you coming?
Well, shit. I mean, how else am I supposed to get some good ideas anyway, right? Puts his book back in his bag and wears himself. All right. Not my idea, though.
It's all right. You
Cavalier.
could just say that I persuaded y'all so you don't get in trouble. You're like, he said he would get
I'm
us
not in trouble
dinner.
either
I
way.
don't know.
Alright, granddad, age before beauty, you can go.
All right. I am all gun ho. I light a cigarette and I open up the door.
Best
What do
thing
I
to do
do?
before entering into a historical building. Let's
Absolutely.
first smoke it up.
Smoke it in the library. You're all the books. Everywhere.
Hell yeah. You know, good.
My favorite part about the library was that the lady's just like, you just can't be here. You're not allowed to be here. Not, you can't smoke in here.
No one's gonna
Sir,
arrest the
sir,
dude.
you can't come in here. Take your Morleys and get out. Oh my god. You guys, Carmelo, pushing it against the lock, it easily oh, it's that old click of a door. It's not crisp. You feel it push down and then gently slide open, hearing the creaking echo as the sound just reverberates out into an open foyer. You can see off to a side a small desk that right now has a little sign that says off to lunch. But then the rest of the building you see is just kind of opened up. It looked like they might have left the space. You can see actually there are some cordoned off sections, but you can see that there are definitely areas in which it's intended that you're supposed to walk down as a tourist. But you can see a first story and then a second story landing up in this space, along with a stairwell that leads up the side, curving around up into the second floor landing that kind of looks down, with a small chandelier, kind of more of a lantern really hanging from the center of this room.
Okay. Interesting. I start going towards the top of the stairway to go all the way to the top.
All right.
But it's evening right now?
No, it is midday right now.
Midday.
Yeah. You guys had your 9 a.m. class. Some walking has occurred, but he has released you basically at 10:30. a.m. situation. So it gives you plenty of time within the day to do as much as possible. Begin the research process or go for lunch.
Is it an open landing? Will we be able to see him when he gets to the top of the stairs?
Yes, you would be.
Very Resident Evil.
There's nobody inside, nobody around.
Hard flashbacks.
No, in particular, there is a sign that says that whoever was manning the front desk is currently off to lunch and not there right now. So there's some free reign. Carmelo, where do you gravitate towards as you look up at the second story landing? You can see an old portrait drawn on the wall. It shows basically Gablewood Manor back in its prime. You can see part of it. You can see a part of the fort structure, and it's listing at around the 1700s. And of note, even back then, it looks like it did almost exist as its own type of fort, whether that was intentional by the original designers, but it is described as Gablewood Manor, not Gablewood Fort here. But it's clean up here. No sign of dust. It looks like this place is taken care of. You can see sets of hallways moving down in each direction. And plaques basically situated up on the wall, basically as female dormitory, male dormitory, and you pass similar signs down on the first floor as well.
Just trying to recollect. In the outside, did there look like there could have been an attic?
Oh, most definitely.
I am going to try to find the attic.
Excellent. Where are the rest of our compatriots heading? You see Carmelo has wandered outside of your view as he has wandered all the way around.
I'm just shadowing him like a journalist at the moment. Just kind of like, where's the curious old man headed?
Lovely. And Cole and Leisha?
I think we're going to stay on the ground floor and kind of like look around, kind of get the layout down there, because like they just took off like a shot. Like I don't know where he's going.
He's
a spry old man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they're having a great time, but that seems a little crazy to me. So
It does, especially if we're supposed to be out of here in under 20 minutes, because somebody might come back.
It's specific, like, we'll be back by like 20 minutes
Don't
or so.
be here.
Like, yeah. Though I assume they were not intending for people to come break into this establishment.
The door was unlocked. It stopped breaking it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
sorry.
the door
Yes.
was unlocked.
No crime committed at this time.
can I check out this desk and see if there's anything in the drawers? I'm gonna snoop.
Absolutely.
Does it have drawers?
It does have drawers. Go ahead and give me a quick smarts investigation, if you so will. Leisha, where do you gravitate towards? You see that there's also a section of like male, female dormitory, and in the back you can also see it looks like there is a place marked basically kitchen and dining room, basically underneath the stairwell and in a variety of
she'd probably go towards the female dormitory, just on the off chance that she might see something interesting. To like, she's still got the morning maiden in her head. She's gonna like, oh, female dormitory, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, hopefully it's not the male dormitory, because that would be awful and tragic.
Oh. Cole, how is that draw going?
Just a pivotal moment.
Oh! All
That's a
right.
pivotal moment.
So, for those who are watching, let me describe what a pivotal moment is. Pivotal moments come along during our gameplay when you have drawn 3 major arcana cards. These are moments in your basically character's campaign that a drastic change and shift in perspective will occur. For one, by getting one of these, you will give yourself a fate coin, which will allow you to redraw later on one singular card, which you will have your own special little markers for those. And I will also at least make note that you have one fate coin to yourself, my dear Cole.
Hey.
And
Do you need to know these? It's just another draw, isn't it?
it will be another draw, correct?
The words on my tarot cards are exceptionally small. Okay, we have. Oh, okay, hang on. Investigator and smarts.
Mm-hmm.
A 5 of cups. That's 1. A 5 of wands. That's 2. And the lovers.
The lovers in opposition, specifically.
Yeah.
Within our draws, we have 3 positions. The first position, our background. The second, our action. And then the third is our contested. As we draw major arcanas, the players themselves will be allowed to add additional details as they have major arcana within the background or action section, while I, the storyteller, will take a moment for the contested section. And in our description, the lovers. Love, choices, partnership, life-changing decisions. However, in contested position, bad choices, difficult relationships, separation, falling out of love. Where do you gravitate towards as you're going through this desk? You're going through what appears to be someone's like personal desk. It must be maybe one of the historian's desks or something of that nature. But you're going through drawers, you said?
Well, first, is it a rolly chair?
It is a rolly chair, yes.
Okay, I have to spin once in the rolly chair. Then I'm gonna look in the bottom drawer first, because that's where you keep all the good shit.
Mm-hmm. And as you open up the drawer, at first you're seeing a lot of files scattered about, intermixed. Looking through, you can see some desks dedicated to specifically the Willard dormitory itself. But as you peer back, you spot a notebook nestled in the back. It looks more like a personal notebook.
Okay. I have my gloves on, so I'm gonna take it, but I'm gonna try to. I'd like to try to hide the fact that I took it from Leisha. I don't want her to know about my thievery.
If we would like to be sneaky about this, we'll start with our first contested roll of the game. Contested draw, my apologies. So Cole, if you could please roll some nimble and oh my goodness. Criminal, thank you. And then Leisha, could you please give me a smarts and investigator?
She's gonna win this.
I believe in you, though.
I only got 2.
See?
So, you have a chance.
Okay. 2.
This is your time for a pivotal moment. Please, ruin Cole's day.
I do have 3 successes, and it's the Hanged Man, which is 1, the Ace of Pentacles, so that's 2, and then Justice.
That's rude. Wow.
So, we will utilize the highest card as our as our major arcana that we'll be utilizing. So, the Hanged Man, you're lucky by 1. In the background section, waiting, delays, change of perspective, and sacrifice. Could you please describe to me how the hanged man manifests, as you do in fact notice Cole in their thievery.
Awkward.
That's interesting. Okay. Sorry.
And you may utilize the name of the card. You may utilize those descriptions that are available on page 14 if you have the book in front of you. Or you may utilize the imagery of your card itself.
Okay, yeah, this would make sense because Leash is walking to the female dorms and like she just kind of stops and goes, I made her come with me. I made Cole come with me when she didn't want to come. I can't leave her behind. So I'll go back to her so she's like, like I will go back and wait and see whatever she wants to do. That's what we'll do. And that's when she just kind of like turns around and sees her messing with the drawers in the journal.
Cole, what do you do with the journal? Do you intentionally take it, or?
I mean, I was on the chair, so I was gonna try to like slip it under my leg until no one was watching fully and stick it in my backpack, but she saw the first process.
Leisha, do you let Cole know that you have witnessed this, or do you take the opportunity to to withhold that? And this will be no draw necessary since you have succeeded.
Leisha is very, very an upfront person, and this is her best friend. She's just like, hey, dude, what are you doing? Like, she will be not loud about it. She's going to come across and like, hey, what did you get?
They told us to, research. They weren't given any rules. There's a notebook. I just want to look at it.
Okay.
Well,
Hey, then why hide it from me? We literally share a room. I was gonna see it anyway. Why would you hide this from me? I'm the one who wanted to come into the place we weren't supposed to come into. We're in this together.
Okay. We'll both look at it.
Okay, we'll both look at it.
I was trying to find something cool so I would seem smart.
You are
know
smart.
Something you didn't know.
Smart. You're like the smartest person I know.
And are you wildly gesticulating with the notebook in your hand, basically?
No, I'm still sitting on it.
You're still sitting on it?
Yeah.
Perfect. It's at this moment when you guys are discussing that the door opens, and a woman enters in, notices the two individuals who are just out and about in this establishment, and goes, hi, when I put up the sign that says we'll be right back, I thought that would intend that people should not enter into this space currently. Who are you guys?
So Leisha's immediately she's turning around and she has just moved her body so that she's blocking Cole from full sight so she can do whatever with the notebook because this is what friends do. And she is now on. She's like, hi, I am so sorry. The door was open and we didn't want to wander around, so we kind of just stand here waiting. We were hoping to get a little bit of hands-on research going on because we'll be investigating this place next week.
Yes, you are. Okay. Yes. You're with Professor Morley, yes?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I do understand that he presents a very, go do it yourself, gung-ho attitude. I did not expect people to be here at this. My name is Emily Valdez. I am the historian for the Willard Manor and for the greater part of Gablewood University.
Oh my god, that's incredible. We were hoping, he mentioned your name, we were really hoping to get to talk to you at some point. I didn't think you'd be here.
Yes. You're not supposed to be here. We're closed currently?
I'm so sorry. Because the door was unlocked and he said that, this would be open for us, so I guess we just misunderstood.
Yes.
For clarity, I have also kicked the drawer closed by now.
Like quietly.
Yeah. Slam! No, very quietly while you're
Shake it,
talking
push it.
at full volume.
She is being like theater loud. Like she has no idea if the other two can hear her, but she is definitely trying to be the center of Emily's attention right now.
Carmelo, you could definitely hear something off in the distance. Don't know if that affects you in any way, shape, or form, but you are making your way over into. Did you head towards male dormitory or female dormitory side? As you're kind of looking.
Female?
Female? Okay.
I'm trying to just find the attic early.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gotta go to the most spooky spot.
Then I would like you to please make a resonance roll at this time. And Mason, or if you were following, I would like you to do so as well.
Yeah, I was following. I was just probably small talking.
Mhm.
So I guess. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it. What?
No, yeah,
we're just-
Carmelo.
I got
Is that what we're doing?
3 successes, but the Hierophant in the opposition.
3 successes, the Hierophant in opposition, independence, lack of morals, corruption, unconventional, and bad advice.
Alright.
Everything situated in this very moment.
And I just got 3, a 3 of a 3 here.
Mm-hmm. Mason, as you were entering and as you were wandering about, feeling out the space, you do feel a sense of kind of cold air breeze through, most likely as the door opened up downstairs, but nothing too out of the ordinary or strange. Carmelo, as you are wandering through, you hear a sarcastic, like, chuckle off in the distance. And it gives you a pang in your heart.
What kind of?
Do I know?
It's deeply familiar.
Mm.
So, I take like a deep drag of the cigarette and I flick it a little bit to the side. And can I tell which direction the laugh came from?
In a historical building.
Just smack him on the shoulder.
That is the lack of morals that I was looking for. Thank you.
Some old man behavior, like straight up.
You heard it coming from deeper in the hallway in one of the rooms.
I follow that voice immediately. I just walk because I heard the noise downstairs. I'm gonna try to keep it, quiet. So I'm not gonna like rush over there, but I am gonna go investigate that area.
As you move forward and turn, you look into the room, and there's no one there waiting for you.
Okay.
And it's... You feel slightly dissatisfied because have not heard that laughter in a long, long time.
I put my hand on your shoulder, peer in. So, something special about this room?
Just out of curiosity, is this laugh my wife?
It could have never been there.
You have to analyze the digital signature.
Yeah. I in the room that we're in, is there like a chair?
There is a like a nice wooden chair just situated. It looks like one of the original ones from the storm room.
I'd be like, Mason, I just gotta sit down for like a quick second.
Okay.
You might want to come in the room and close the door because there's people. I think our friends down there got caught.
And I kind of like, can I like peek my head just enough to see over the foyer or whatever? Is it an open
Yeah.
floor, or is it...
Leisha is actively engaging with this woman who appears to be in her like 30s to 40s. She looks a little peeved.
Like I'm.
You're not supposed to be sitting there. That's actually my desk. And I'd prefer it if you didn't sit there. That's where I work.
I'm back into the room. Let's shut the door really quiet. Yep. There's some shit going down.
Yeah. That being said, I'm gonna just
Take a load off, man.
I heard something kind of familiar and it just caught me off guard.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Just something I haven't heard in a long time. Just give me like a minute here. I'm gonna try something. Try something spooky. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna use my last PowerPoint and try to sense spirit.
In a moment of
again.
I'm gonna pull out my journal and kick back and watch.
How desperately do you want this to work?
Yeah. It might. I got the Ace of Wands in the background, the King of Swords, which is my aspect in the action, and the Seven of Pentacles. I only got two.
Two successes.
Two successes.
For sense spirit?
Yeah, sense spirit.
As you reach out, you don't feel anyone there.
Oh, hold on. I think my headphones died.
Oh.
Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can switch on to these.
To the cans?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh no.
We will get them back momentarily. Now, my dear Nora, who is currently a Mason, where do you meander off to? Back towards the university or off?
Literally about me.
There's some like woods nearby. Gable Wood.
Couple woods.
I wander to the parking lot, to my car.
Okay.
I don't have another class.
Oh, what? I am
They don't know
shocked.
that. Yeah, so she heads to her car.
I would like you to please make a resonance roll. You will also double your nature for this as you're wandering back to your car.
It's boba tea time.
It is boba tea time.
Are we doing it in reverse or no?
Uh,
Cards in reverse?
Only for contested.
Okay. I have the Fool in the background, the Queen of Cups in action, which is my nature, and Justice in opposition.
Justice in opposition.
So 3.
As you're wandering back, how loud is the symphony in your ear right now?
Oh, she turned it right back up proper.
Just blasting. And that's when, as you try to force it out as much as you possibly can, why is it that there are accompanying lyrics that pour over top of it? Not with the music at all. It is a sound of, who's she? What is she doing over there? What's she doing? What a weirdo. Oh my god, just stalking off. Like, what is up with that? Like, and then a mixture of like, oh, I cannot fail this test. I gotta be prepared. I cannot fail midterms. I bombed out last year. This is not gonna be good. No, I can't fail. Just a continuous spatter of like anxiety, worry, anxiousness, all of it pouring in a moment of wanting to escape as much as possible. And it's not until you reach the car that you get inside that you try to push the music up even higher. But it doesn't stop until there's a sudden silence. The audio on your headphones have also cut off. You look down. Your iPod is still playing, but there is no sound. And more specifically, it's also quiet around you. There isn't the constant chattering. There isn't the constant influx of
Pressure.
yes.
That pressure is gone.
It's relieved. As if someone just let all the air out of the balloon.
Am I in the car? That happens in the car.
Yeah.
She starts to panic. And she like immediately like searches the car.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's empty, well, visually empty anyway, she jumps out and looks around the parking lot specifically.
Looks around the parking lot. You see a guy wearing a beanie like look over and go, and like go back to drinking his coffee. Maneuvers off to his car. You can see a couple of freshmen wandering out, heading towards. There are people around you right now, and there are sounds around you, but you are strangely at ease. The tenseness that was in your shoulders has just alleviated.
She mumbles under her breath, "I don't fucking find it funny." That's not helping. She's not really talking to anybody. But yet she's talking to somebody.
As you sit there listening to the ambient cricket.
I mean, it's daytime. I'm not really sure why there's a cricket, but that's irrelevant.
Very cricket.
It should be sleeping, but that's okay.
That is where we will end tonight's session.
God damn it.
With a sense of worry, with a sense of rising pressures, with a sense of hope for tomorrow and what you might find. I want to thank everyone for coming today. We will be back in 2 weeks' time on, I have to check the actual date, the 24th, yes. We will be back on the 24th, and I hope the cricket is there with us. Our new mascot. Thank you all.
Daytime cricket.
Yeah, Daytime Cricket is going to be back with us.
There will be a cricket emote, okay?
Yes. Thank you all for coming. My name is Ben Del Toro. This has been Eerie Games, showing you seminars, echoes of the human experience, and we hope to see you soon. Goodbye, everyone.